Welcome to Gatewater Land. Gatewater Land? Having a luxury hotel wasn't enough for Gatewater? They needed to have a whole theme park as well? Remember when that sign only used to have the words photo rally?
Are you a cop?
No, I'm a prosecutor. Which means he has connections to the police. That gate looks closed, don't you think? That would mean the park is closed, right? In that case, who let him in? Also, what kind of amusement park doesn't open after 10 a.m.? It's not like the ransom drop-off is taking place on a holiday. Boy, aren't there a few familiar things here. The Gatewater's band equipment and that sign about Battle of the Magicians between Max Galactica and Troop Gramarye. Oh, and look, it even acknowledges the Gaveters. But hold the heck on, does that say Garmarye? Why does Edgeworth reflection only shine off the mirrors that aren't broken? I don't care that these other mirrors are in fact broken, we should still see some kind of distorted reflection. Look, why not just stay on the call the whole time while Edgeworth is in the park? But first, if you would be so kind as to remove these ropes. I wonder, should I remove them? Do you want Edgeworth questioning if you're a kidnapper a second time? Yup, I'm a pure-blooded great thief. It's a little something I inherited from my predecessor. In that case, you wouldn't mind if I arrested you then, right? Can prosecutors even make arrests? I know that prosecutors are connected with the police, but I'm pretty sure an officer would have to carry out the arrest procedures, and Edgeworth is all by himself with this girl. And she's still trying to open the door despite it clearly being locked. If you manage to snap a shot of every member of the family, you get a really posh prize. Kay, a 17-year-old girl, uses the word posh in 2019. Isn't this my phone? Why would the kidnappers just leave his phone out like that? However, I humbly request that you please help me out of here post-haste.
Sorry, no can't do.
What?
We're hunting the kidnapper now, and I haven't got any hands to spare.
You have 99 men! You can't spare a couple of them? Ever heard of Divine Conquer, or does that not fit with Lang Zi's sayings? The great thief Yatagarasu spreads her mighty wings and takes to the skies! Here I go! After a fall like that, I find it hard to imagine Kay being able to stand like that for some time. Also, her scarf is blowing in the... wind? What wind? You gotta love how they have some form of basic description for the male badgers, but the pink badger just notes her unique pink bow. That's sexist? Well, I heard that the police had a hand in sponsoring this theme park, probably because the Gatewater group owes the police from all those cases they solved. So the police only sponsor this park because of all the cases they solve in that one particular area? Japanifornia is a weird place.
I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny.
And I won't rest until I've sinned every instance this line appears. Alright, I got the secret door open. And now... What kind of self-proclaimed great thief would leap into a trap door that has a ladder propped up against the wall? No way! I mean, how was I supposed to know that the ladder is removable? Did it look like it was attached to the wall to you? How sweet. They went through the trouble of not only giving some of these guys separate uniforms, but also unique faces for each and every one. But what's up with that one guy in the brown suit and the other guy in the gray suit? I'm sorry, but these guys just stick out so much from the rest because they're the only ones of their kind among this group.
Shifu, all 99 members are here and accounted for, sir!
No, that looked more like 25. Also, Shifu is the Chinese word for master, yet Xilong Lang is from Zhangfa, which I guess is greatly verbally inspired by China. But aren't the Asian nations supposed to be hugely different from each other, at least in how people talk? I mean, yes, the Chinese and Japanese languages both use what look like symbols to Germanic language speakers, but they sound totally different. And no, I'm not trying to make a ladder versus stepladder argument by assigning this sin, nor is it my intention to base my sins on a bunch of narrow-minded cultural assumptions, though that might be inevitable.
No one is a 2 or a 3. Everyone, regardless of age or rank, is number 1. Got it?
But if you just count everyone as 1, doesn't that get confusing? Like a much more confusing version of who's on first?
You are Agent Lang, I take it? You infidel! How dare you address our Shifu so rudely?
Yeesh, I just met the guy. Is it common for people like MIB to get their panties in a knot over something as simple as this?
You solved a murder that occurred during your flight home recently, right? Ha! But you sure took a while just to arrest one little flight attendant. How pathetic.
Edgeworth's not an Interpol agent, and he knew nothing of the smuggling ring or its operations until recently. What were you expecting?
I would have solved the entire case and Agent Hicks would still be with us here today. Agent Lang knew yesterday's victim, Agent Acme Hicks.
Well, they're both Interpol agents.
You dare to mock the court? I do. And I don't need the help of a filthy prosecutor. Sorry, but the truth doesn't need the likes of you to distort it today. Who uses the adjective filthy to describe a prosecutor?
You have a childhood friend that didn't used to think so highly of prosecutors until like a year ago, dude.
Sorry, but I just stole your supporting role. How can you say something so serious with that giant grin on your face, pal?
Because even someone as dumb as you should be able to tell that this is just a silly girl with an interesting concept of stealing. Like I said, I've already stolen the position of assistant a while back.
You're the only one asserting that.
Well, by the time anyone notices, it's already gone. That's the Yatagarasu way. Except you didn't demonstrate the Yatagarasu way because you yourself spoke of it, just handing out the intel like it's candy.
Ah! You've uncovered my undercover identity, sir! How would you remain under that head, sir?
Oh great, it's this guy again. But the good news is no megaphone.
Why was he so upset when we unmasked him? Does he have something to hide?
No, just the fact that he's apparently working undercover.
And I'm creating memories and dreams for the kids! That's never a waste of time, sir! I have a dream to become as big as Detective Gumshoe, sir!
As the blue badger? Okay, Mr. Edgeworth, it's time to use those footprints and go badger hunting. Instead of this happening automatically, we need to examine the footprints again. It just stops. I can't make heads or tails of where it's headed from here. How is that possible? Shouldn't there at least be mud on top of the wood to indicate travel from the person in costume? It didn't take long at all before the case is revealed to be a murder case. Just think for a moment. Much like with the stolen turnabout, we could have had an episode that's not about a murder. The victim is the Amano family butler, and his name is Oliver Deacon, but the name on the pendant is Colin Deborah. That's a nice anagram there, Lou. Nice anagram. You can't let yourself fall for a playboy like him! Playboy is the last word I'd ever use to describe Miles Edgeworth. I know you like your logic and reasoning, but that sort of impractical fluff is not needed out here in the field. Does he really believe that bullcrap? These guys are doing detective work, right? Detective work is kind of built on logic and reasoning. With your current gun laws, it's not exactly easy to get your hands on a gun. Not unless you're a member of law enforcement like Officer Meekins, isn't that right? That's all you're basing your arrest on? Things may be different in Zhangfa, but this is America. We're promised the right to bear arms! To this day, the Zhangfa police still trains its recruits using his philosophies. But thousands of years ago? That makes your story about as believable as a fairy tale. Anything wears down and breaks over time. Do you really believe something as ancient as that can be applied to today's world? Chinese philosophies are still applied to our modern world in many different ways, including works of fiction, so what's your point? Officer Meekins, I would appreciate it if you didn't tell such transparent lies.
Sir! I'm lying, sir!
No, your testimony was just missing a detail. Mr. Edgeworth. Long time no see. Oh, look who's back. What a familiar face that barely gets any involvement in this duology whatsoever. I almost didn't recognize you. You've really grown in these past few years. Please don't tease me, Mr. Edgeworth. I know I still have a long way to go. But I wasn't exactly teasing you. That was a compliment. I had really wanted to welcome you back at the airport, but I had just missed you. And how exactly did you know I was here? Through the power of science, naturally. Never underestimate what science can do for you. I used these to track your footprints, and I followed them straight to you. Does that mean Emma makes it a habit to use her scientific equipment even when she doesn't exactly need to? Because that's the only way Emma would have used it specifically to find out that Edgeworth was coming back home. But then it renders her line about wanting to welcome Edgeworth back at the airport completely moot. Badger, 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 badger. Badger, 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 mushroom, mushroom. Sorry, but I don't speak badger dance. Do you speak mucky, though?
I can't take being inside that stuffy head anymore!
Ah, so that's why her sash said tough love.
Angie Poo! Why couldn't you understand what I was trying to tell you?
Probably because he's not familiar with how you badgers parlay.
I finally get the chance to see you again, and here you are talking with two young girls. Men are all the same. It doesn't matter how old they get. They continue to shamelessly flirt with young girls. Why, just the other day, it happened with my Yan, who I finally got him to notice me. He waited time to an arranged marriage with an 18-year-old. I don't see what he sees in her at all. As they say, the persimmon takes 3 years to ripen. That girl!
May I ask how old this Yun is, or even why you're still going after a 20-something despite all the grief it's giving you? So, about this new problem. What is that giant grin on your face for? Do you want me to show you something really nice? No, thank you. Don't be so mean. I swear it's something you're going to like. And don't you need information right now? You could clearly tell by the way she said about this new problem that she has a solution to it. Once I'm done, I'll increase the size of the projection to its maximum size. Dark skies of evening, when no other bird dares take wing. One alone remains all-seeing. Now witness the true power of a real modern-day Robin Hood. This is what it looks like at maximum size? I thought it was just a projection! What futuristic tick is this in the year 2019? What do you want? Your testimony, naturally. I'd like to hear it one more time, if you please. Why not just skip straight back to the cross-examination? And don't tell me that's not possible. It happened in Turnabout Sisters. The second tier? Hey, didn't you say you saw it right in front of you earlier? That was, I was using the phrase in the metaphorical sense.
I see our witness still has a screw loose in the metaphorical sense.
Just the one? My eyesight isn't what it used to be, Not like when I was young. People used to call me Eagle-Eyed Wendy back then. I just found good man from 100 paces away as I walked down the street just like that. Of course, they also noticed me in a flash and tried to make their move. But I'm not that easy. I was a careful girl with a judgmental eye, but I never let go. Even the game doesn't have time for this. The silhouettes just hit the stage itself. You two! Sir! And there you have it. You see, big boys like me don't need silly toys, little girl. But why go through all that trouble? Whatever happened to photographs? How far will you go to accuse Officer Meekins of the crime? I don't think Lang's intending to make Officer Meekins out to be the killer, but the way he acts makes it almost seem like he is. Recall Mr. Deacon's body, specifically where the gunshot wounds were located. Actually, I didn't get that good of a look. Or perhaps you didn't remember what Edgeworth himself said. I ask that you take another good look at the tire marks over there. The 3 marks are indicative of the blue Badgermobile. Now I'm starting to have doubts about whether or not he really is intending to make Officer Meekins sound like the killer, because I highly doubt he genuinely believed those tire tracks could only have been made by the blue Badgermobile. Not to mention that those tire tracks near the garage don't lead up to the blue Badgermobile's parking spot. Surely he had to have noticed that at least. It was 1:42 when Edgeworth and Kay went to the stadium. Somewhere between then and 2:34, Lang had officers rebuilt the stage, which could not have been as quick as the game wants me to believe, no matter how capable his cronies really are. Ah, the way Lance is being chased after by women reminds me of someone else I know. I just know you're not referring to Old Bag chasing after me.
You mean to tell me that he gave you a lollipop ring?
I didn't know you could spell lollipop with a Y. Is it possible for you to let us take a look around inside?
Sir, Roger, sir! That was surprisingly hassle-free.
Are you certain? Didn't Agent Lang order you not to allow me in?
Sir, that's true, sir, but Detective Gumshoe asked me personally to let you in, sir, and I couldn't refuse a request from him.
But you could refuse an order from Agent Lang, who's leading the investigation now. Colin Deveray was an inmate at the Penny Dent prison. Penny Dent could be a play on penitentiary, but it also sounds like penitent, which means someone repentant of their crimes. The ironic thing is that the only crime that Deveray ought to be penitent for is stealing a gun from a guard while escaping. He was just a scapegoat in the crime for which he was convicted. A door that was locked tight, despite it being not locked at all. It can only be because of this. Oh, you mean... Yes, it was used to jam the door. Here, take a look at the door handle. That door looks like it opens on the outside. With that being the case, when the officers broke into the room, shouldn't the entire door have been broken down from the strong force, not just the handle the sword was stuck through? Mr. Proto-Badger, the gun is, of course, not a functioning weapon, correct? Absolutely not, sir. I had my suspicions about this Badger before, the way he's always saying sir, but this line just confirms it. The bellboy who used to work at a Gatewater hotel now works as a costumed Proto-Badger at a police-sponsored theme park. I don't know about it taking 39 minutes to investigate the hideout. Where's the costume, Detective Gumshoe? Is this why Edgeworth got his glasses while he was chief prosecutor? He couldn't see the costume lying right there? Lauren, hey, it's a name that's engraved on this. We're not even going to start questioning why the last initial on the pennant is D instead of, P? A misprint, maybe? Lolly, I can't believe you were one of my kidnappers. By the way, that spelling of lollipop I brought up earlier, that wasn't a unique instance. What makes it worse is that Lance's nickname for Lauren is a short version of lollipop, but this one is actually spelled correctly. What's going on? Mr. Deveray had one daughter, and her name is Lauren Pops. She only went by Pops instead of Deveray because 1, she wanted to have a pun name, and 2, she didn't want the name of a criminal. This one's stupid because while Lang does say both Lauren and Colin planned the kidnapping, he never said only those 2, yet the game expects you to piece together, oh, he still thinks there were only 2 kidnappers in this case. That by itself is perfectly reasonable, but using the word only could make a huge difference in how the statement is perceived. So, in his damage animation, Lance's handcuffs launch up into the air, and why does he catch them in his wrists again? Does he have some kind of Stockholm syndrome towards those cuffs? Looks like it's hard being the son of a rich man, too. It must be rough when you have to resort to stealing from your old man, huh? I don't know about that, though mostly because we don't know enough about Ernest Amano to understand why Lance thought he needed to hatch a fake kidnapping plot just to repay the loan. He probably could have just asked his father for the money. You would be surprised how often people lie without even realizing it themselves, Kay. Huh? What's that supposed to mean? What indeed? A lie is, by definition, always completely intentional.
Yes, Miss Pops claims to have seen the Bad Badger, and yet the Bad Badger had both of his hands full. These two pieces of information contradict each other, so one must be wrong.
But the only correct answer is neither of them are wrong.
Miss Pops, the person you saw was not Mr. Deacon at all.
Huh?
The person you actually saw was this person.
Boo! I don't even get my own profile on the court record!
This appears to be a letter from the Chief of Police. Please allow Mr. Amano complete freedom to do as he sees fit, it says.
I know the Amano Group is a big conglomerate, but is it really influential enough for the police to allow this?
I'm not a cop from this land, so I'm not bound by the laws of your country.
Hey, Mr. Interpol agent, you're in this country, meaning yes, you are bound by its laws. You don't have extraterritorial rights. We're absolutely certain this is the exact same gun Colin stole from the guard while escaping from prison.
And why do you believe that the victim was set on taking Miss Pop's life? I suppose it's because he wanted to silence her, to keep her quiet because she knows the truth behind the kidnapping.
Of course she does. She and Oliver worked together with Lance in making this happen, no?
Lance Amano, I propose that you killed Mr. Deacon with a revolver in the haunted house.
That's your proposal, but I personally think it was Professor Plum in the lounge with a lead pipe.
Gatewater Land Incorporated hereby bequeaths the property known as the Haunted House to Mr. Amano for the lump sum of $1 million paid in full in cash.
Is it even possible for one man to own one single attraction in a theme park that's otherwise owned by a whole company? Imagine Elon Musk owning Harry Potter World at Universal.
Permission to search the haunted house is denied. End of discussion.
That's as good as a confession. That place is going to get searched with your permission or not. You can't hide forever.
You didn't recreate the weapon. Well, I can't exactly recreate something I know nothing about.
Didn't we have a similar issue the first time we used Little Thief?
I was hit on the right side of my head, just above my temple. There was a bit of blood, but it wasn't anything serious.
You're talking about the blood now?
Except for a bit on the left side, this prop sword is absolutely spotless. However, if the culprit had used his left hand, the blood would be on the opposite side.
Not necessarily. Mr. Deacon could very easily have hit you with a backhanded swing, though there's not much merit in doing that.
The 7 wonders of the haunted house. The disappearing badger.
Guess we'll have to go hunting to find the other 6.
I'm sorry!
No final testimony or anything, just a bunch of investigation. You've already got the culprit's breakdown, and it was not worth it.
Well, wait! I had nothing to do with the murder! The only person you should be arresting is Lance!
Father of the Year. This is a duo that won't last long at all.
It's no use pretending with me. You're the one, right? You're the corrupt prosecutor that's working for Mr. Amano in the smuggling ring, right?
Just because Ernest funded Edgeworth's travel overseas, shouldn't he be suspecting Portsmouth just the same after his sudden arrival? Not to mention that insane request that he should be the one taking in the Amanos.
Thank you very much. You're welcome, although there is no need to thank me. Ah! No, Lord, stop! I mean, this man's so much older than you.
Dang it, just when I thought Lauren was about to move on from the whole sorry affair, chasing after pointless dreams like that,